Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Southern Virginia University. We are live up here at the fields, about to bring you some men's lacrosse action. Today, we are featuring, of course, your Knights of Southern Virginia University taking on the captains of Christopher Newport University. And I'll tell you, we have a treat in store for you. This is the opening conference matchup for the Knights and for the captains of CNU. Both teams come in with a 4-0 perfect record, and I know that our Southern Virginia Knights definitely had this game circled on their schedule as it's sort of a rematch of how their season ended last year in the CAC playoffs. The Knights this year have started off real strong, as we mentioned, a 4-0 record, and they've been led by a couple of young guns, new additions to the team, with Seth Garth and Tennyson and Schmidt, who are leading the way with scoring, and returning, of course, Sean Lamb from last season, leading the way in assists and overall points for the team. And I think I think that is a huge story to tell, as I'm joined right now with Ryan Larson, who is my partner in crime today. Ryan, as we mentioned, that a couple of young guys, Seth Garth and Tennyson Smith, both freshmen on the roster, and of course Sean Lamb, who had a strong freshman season coming back, but he's only a sophomore. So I think that's been the story for Coach Lamb, is a really strong recruiting class.
Right, absolutely. And Coach Lamb, he actually runs a high school travel team called the Stripling Warriors, and all three of the attackmen, Lamb, Garth, and Schmidt, have all played on that team. So they had some chemistry coming into this season. And they seem to be working really well together on and off the field. So really fun group to watch.
Perfect. And we talked about this was how the season ended last year for Southern Virginia. They fought CNU pretty well in that playoff game. Of course, that game was on the road in Newport News, Virginia. And I know they felt pretty confident, felt pretty encouraged after that game. What are you looking forward to in this game? What are some of the things that Christopher Newport likes to do, and how do you think Coach Lamb will go about attacking them?
Christopher Newport is a very patient team. They will pass the ball very quickly and look for the exact opportune moments to score. And they like to capitalize on mistakes. So any errant passes on the clearing side, they will shove it right back in your face. So, and they're a very capable team, very strong team this year. So
should be in for a good one, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds like awesome. And now here we go with the first face-off.
Jace Thomas, very, very outstanding face-off guy.
Jace Thomas, also a new addition to the team this year. He is a sophomore, but new to the team this year. And Coach Lamb, talking to him before the season, pretty excited about what he brings to the table. Did you see CNU picks up the ball, wins that face-off, and wasting no time.
Shot and a score. That was quick. Right?
With 4 seconds off the clock, yep.
Like I was saying, CNU is very good at capitalizing on these mistakes made by the Knights. Jace Thomas was a little out of position right there. But, it's one goal, so able to shake it off, and let's see if he can win the next one.
So that goal was scored by number 6, Dylan Rice, for CNU. He is their leading goal scorer. With that'll be number 14 on the season. He's got 20 total points on the season. Let's see if Jace Thomas can rebound from that, and I'm sure Coach Lamb is not going to put up with many goals like that scored in 4 seconds. Just knowing his personality, he's going to be a tough coach on his players.
No, absolutely.
You see CNU wins another face-off. Bringing it down quick. Another shot, but missed wide to the left. CNU will maintain possession, but it doesn't look like, Ryan, that they're waiting for anything. It looks like they're coming out swinging. They're not playing this game to not lose. They're coming out swinging and looking to win and put goals on the board.
No, absolutely. Now let's see if CNU remains patient as they were last year. They do like to ISO dodge the short six, as you see happening right now. That was more of a dodge to pass, not really a score dodge, really testing his matchup.
Nice defense to force the pass. And you wonder how the Knights will respond. I mean, that's tough giving up a quick goal like that. But it looks like they're packing it in.
Yeah, When you're going to see this game, you're going to see them playing a lot tighter, really forcing the outside shots. As you guys watched in the Ferrum game, they were playing awfully aggressive, pressing out on their matchups. This time they're going to really focus on team defense, quick slides, and making sure that they have the backside covered. Good check to force the ball on the ground.
The Knights still looking for their first possession of the game, and it looks like they've got it right here. Almost intercepted.
Yeah, dangerous pass there, but Brady Cook, dangerous weapon on transition. Let's see if he presses it. Oh, an errant pass. That'll be a quick turnover.
It looked like the right idea, just miscommunication there as the Knights get back on defense. They got to feel good about getting a stop there. Hopefully they can continue to force those turnovers, but I know Coach Lamb, we've talked a little bit, their defense hasn't been the strongest point for them this year, and I'm sure Coach Lamb has been talking about that this season. As again, CNU is on the attack right now.
Right, absolutely. And a key to this game is they're going to have to minimize those turnovers. Otherwise, they're going to be playing a lot of defense. And like I said, CNU is able to capitalize on a lot of these mistakes. So got to minimize those.
CNU just working the ball around the edges right now. Knights doing a good job not letting them get in closer to the goal.
Yep.
And you're definitely right. They came out quick, but it looks like they're being more patient at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Seem to be isolating the short stick at X. Watch for the early slide by the Knights.
Errant pass, but picked up again by CNU.
That's the kind of pressure you want to see on a ground ball. Kyle Fujikawa is able to, really not make that ground ball easy and not allow for any quick transition of the ball. Again, attacking the short stick at X. Look for that quick slide. In the switch. Oh, but a guy wide open in the back, able to score.
Looked like that goal was scored by number 25, the second leading goal scorer on the CNU team, Matthew Christ. That'll be goal number 7 for him and number 13 for points on this season. It looked like, Ryan, and you certainly know and understand lacrosse a lot more than myself. Ryan, of course, played here for Coach Lamb in this program. But it looked like the defense was a little better there, but they weren't able to force any turnovers. There wasn't a ton of pressure. But you hit the nail on the head. It looked like CNU was playing patient and waiting for their opportunity.
Right, and there wasn't a lot of ball pressure, as you saw during that switch transition when the long stick took over his man on the ball, or took over the ball. He wasn't facing a lot of ball pressure. He was able to pick his target and found a guy wide open backside.
It looks like there was a violation there. I'm not sure what, but the ball has been awarded to Southern Virginia after losing that face-off right there.
So when a face-off, the face-off man has to get the ball out of his stick with one motion. It can't get stuck in, otherwise it'll be a violation.
What it looked like then. They had the ball momentarily, but now you got CNU with the turnover. And back to the Knights. Number 3, Carter Bean taking it up the field. See if the Knights can capitalize on this transition.
One thing that works well for the Knights is they like to press early offense, and so that they can get their matchups while CNU still has their offensive players still on the field. Looks like they're starting to settle things down.
And this is really the first offensive possession we've seen here, and I know Coach Lamb already down 2 goals. I'm sure he wants to make the most of it right here.
Right, absolutely, and they've been playing a lot of defense, so what they could use is a long possession. Well, turned over quick, yeah.
Yeah, speak of it, is CNU taking the ball, and they're looking to make a quick push right here.
A shot and a score. That was an absolute ripper.
Yeah, it looked like he one-hopped it. Looked like number 21 for CNU. Not very high on the goals list. That's his first goal of the season. That's Miles Collins, first goal and first points on the season. It looked like the Knights were just struggling to get back on defense there, Ryan.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take a timeout and talk things over with the Knights. Got to be a frustrating start for the defense and especially for the offense. You get your first offensive possession and you can't rush it. You got to make sure you take care of the ball. Like I said, CNU will capitalize on all mistakes made. So
And so Ryan, you've definitely spent your time in Coach Lamb timeout huddles. What do you think Coach Lamb's preaching to his team right now? Everything you just were saying?
So I think he's gonna say pretty much exactly what I said. Really hounding the offense on not settling for poor opportunities. Don't be lackadaisical with the ball, and defense. You got to keep your head on a swivel, making sure you're keeping track of the backside, and then ball pressure, making sure that the feeder is not able to have his hands free to find an open target.
Right, and it seems pretty universal. Of course, like I've played a lot of football and a lot of basketball in my life, but it's the same in all three sports: lacrosse, football, basketball. Is you got to limit your turnovers, right? The most successful teams don't turn the ball over, and then they force those turnovers, and that's kind of been the case so far in this game. It looks like the Knights just put the ball on the ground the couple times that they've had it, and they haven't been able to capitalize on the few turnovers they've gotten.
Right, absolutely. And against a team like Ferrum, lower caliber team, you're able to get away with those turnovers. But against a top tier team of the CAC, you're not gonna get away with that.
Right, and what seems to be true to form in Southern Virginia athletics, they tend to be in these heavyweight conferences, and the CAC men's lacrosse conference is no different, featuring teams like Salisbury, who is the back-to-back national champions. You've got York, who's undefeated, of course CNU, and Coach Lamb is really trying to make a statement, as you see Jace Thomas again loses that face-off, but trying to make a statement that they can compete and they can win in this conference. I'm sure he'd look to turn this game around real quick, though, if he can.
Right. Knights are fine. Knights are getting some subs on, getting the right personnel. See, that is terrible defense right there. They were able to give up the middle of the field, and that Dodger really could have gone either way. Was able to get to the sweet spot, which is 10 yards outside the goal, and fire an uncontested shot.
That was number 11, Will Stockhausen for Christopher Newport. That's his second goal on the season and his third point of the season as well. It just feels like nothing going right for Southern Virginia right now, and it starts with these face-offs. If you can't win the face-off, right, you can't get into your offense. You're having to play defense right away. So really looking for Jace Thomas to step up right here and make a play, as it's kicked back towards the CNU side. Chased after, but eventually picked up by Christopher Newport.
So before this game, the Knights actually are 108 out of 145 faceoffs. That's over 74% on the season, which is an outstanding performance by Jace Thomas. CNU just seems to be getting the edge on Jace Thomas this game so far. But the game is young. There's a lot of time left, so.
See the Knights setting into their defense, trying to be a little more pressure, trying to get in their faces a little more, it looks like, to force some bad passes maybe. But Christopher Newport does look pretty comfortable in their offense.
Had some open guys there, but CNU wasn't able to capitalize on that. Knights got to be careful.
They're swinging the ball around. Now the ball being taken behind the net by number 31, Lucas Berry. Passing off to number 10, Griffin Haynes.
The Knights really need to get a stop here. CNU with these long possessions and capitalizing on them is.
As the flag goes up.
Looks like it's going to be a loose push on Derek Marks, number 16. Get the first look at the CNU's extra man unit. That's a 30-second technical penalty.
So not what the Knights would want to have. This game has not been what they were hoping for so far. Again, if you're just joining us, we're in the first period. The score is CNU 4, Southern Virginia 0 with 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And CNU about to have an extra man penalty, as Ryan just mentioned. It'll be a 30-second penalty. And the Knights definitely on their heels. They're feeling that pressure from Christopher Newport. They need somebody to step up and make a play.
Right, absolutely. Good pressure on the ball.
Good save there. Great save. Number 31, Boston Priestler, freshman. This doesn't say where he's from, but freshman on this squad doing the goalkeeping duties. As the Knights look to flip the field and go on an offensive possession. Long pass there. Ooh, check on the sideline. But picked up. Oh, looks like.
So it's going to be a loose push, and the Knights will have possession, which is a big break for them. That last shot, that was exactly what the Knights want to give up on those extra man or those man down opportunities. Excuse me. Outside 12 yards, stick side high, easy save for Preisler.
Right. And you can't shut down. You're not going to stop them from shooting at all, but you can kind of defend what shots you don't want them to take and force them into something like that.
Right, exactly. And that's the kind of shot you definitely want to give up. Getting to get another look at the Knights offense and see if they settle things down a little bit. Ooh, forced pass. And that'll roll out of bounds. Flip over possession and another turnover.
So it looked like they had something going there. If that pass could have been completed on the inside right by the goal, they might have had an opportunity to score, but just couldn't wrangle it in.
Right. Absolutely. I also think they could have taken their time a little bit. I don't even think that was a very that pass necessarily had to be made. Seems like we have a stoppage in play. Oh, back over.
Seeing you taking the ball. Look to set up their offense behind the net right now. Number 6, Dylan Rice, working the ball. You forced it back out. Number 25, Matthew Christ.
Long ISO dodge from up top. A shot and score.
Another goal for Matthew Christ, number 25. That is his 8th goal, now on the season. Certainly not, and we mentioned it before, not what Coach Lamb was hoping to see. You got to start wondering maybe if he's going to switch up the face-offs or what can he do to spark that defense, Ryan?
I think they need to get a little more on-ball pressure. If you saw that right there, he was able to really pick exactly what side of the field he could go to. He had his head up the whole time. He wasn't really a threat to score at that position. But you got to get on hands, otherwise you're going to find those backside wide-open guys for those easy backside goals. You got to give your goalie some assistance. He really hasn't been able to do much.
And we've talked about Jace Thomas. He's had a good season so far, but for CNU, their face-off man, Tony Cruz, has done a really good job today. Obviously, whatever he's found, whatever weakness in Jace Thomas's face-off, he's been able to take advantage of it so far. As it feels like, I could be wrong, but it feels like he's won every face-off to this point.
Yes, he's won the move on almost every single one. They did have a violation, I believe, the second.
That's right. As the Knights get the turnover and are heading back down the field, number 5, Jacob Lamb with the ball.
Press and transition very well. And a shot wide by Sean Lamb. Oh, that was Seth Garf, excuse me.
As Sean picks up the ball behind the net right now. And this is good. This is an opportunity for the Knights to take care of the ball, nice clean passes, and work Coach Lamb's offense.
Yeah, I think they really need to settle things down, really try to go for a 3 minute possession and end with a goal. Give the defense a little bit of a break. They got their second line midfielders in with Cade Rich and Isaac DeJarlis and Michael Anderson.
Tennyson Smith with the ball now. Passes it off, but Tennyson has been a real nice addition. Again, he's one of those young freshmen who've really led the team so far, but they need to get him going. They need to be on offense and give him an opportunity. Shot wide left there by number 11, Bryce Gardner. Knights will keep possession.
Quick turnover by Seth Garf. And CNU really speeding up the field on transition, really pressing transition.
Good save there by Boston Priesler. And the Knights back in transition, going across the field.
A little high pass.
On the ground.
Picked up by Patrick Reese, and he's able to goose it out. And that looks like it's going to go towards CNU. Yep. Possession will go to the captains. Knights are in a drop ride, allowing them to get their defensive subs on, and hopefully help with the transition game, slowing down the transition. CNU has been real dangerous on transition this game so far.
You see Dylan Rice again with the ball behind the net. Now coming forward, looking for somebody to pass to, passes it off, trying to find a hole in that Southern Virginia defense right now.
CNU really liking their short stick matchups. Able to get your defender inside out. That's never a good sign. But that was an excellent slide made by number 44, Trayson Withers.
So we see that shot go high, but remains in CNU possession.
Ooh, almost had it.
Forced a ground ball, but still picked up by CNU.
And that's always frustrating when you can get the ball on the ground but aren't able to make away with the possession.
So if you're just joining us here, CNU about to shoot.
Excellent hit dodge for the goal.
Again, that one, number 22, Drew Magnuson. I believe that's his first goal of the game, number 7 on the season. If you're just joining us, this has kind of been the story of the game. CNU has dominated the offensive possession, dominated the face-offs, and Southern Virginia has had a couple offensive possessions, but just has been putting the ball on the ground and had some turnovers, and that's the result you see. It's 6-0 with 3 minutes left to go in the first period as Jace Thomas takes on Tony Cruz for this face-off.
And another clean win for Cruz.
Ball on the ground, though, but no Southern Virginia players able to pick it up. Oh, ball on the ground again. Finally picked up. Southern Virginia possession. Brady Cook with the ball still. Now he passes it off to Tennyson Smith.
Now, the Knights really need a long possession ending with a goal. It would be nice to see them end the hold for the last shot of the quarter, really give their defense a break. But
Sean Lamb working it, passes, finds Tennyson Smith with a little bit of room on the left side, but shut down quickly by that CNU defense.
He had his head up, which was good that he didn't force anything, able to, retain possession and really not settle. And
right, and time of possession is kind of the name of the game for them right now,
right.
as they haven't had any.
Oh, and a wide couldn't handle onto it. Isaac Jarlis was wide open in the middle.
Good entry pass, it looked like.
Yeah, he just couldn't handle the ball. But another turnover and heading back the captain's way.
CNU taking the ball down. Back to number 6, Dylan Rice, working his way to get in front of the net. Shot and score.
Was able to get a step on captain defenseman Colin Maxfield. Like I said, CNU, any mistake that is made, CNU will capitalize on it. Knights are going to have to minimize those mistakes as the game goes on.
And knowing Coach Lamb as well as you do, Ryan, do you feel like, that I'm pretty sure that's Dylan Rice's third goal of the game, third goal of this quarter. Do you feel like that was a focus coming in, that we got to shut down a couple of their top goal scorers, or is it more just we need to play team defense all the way around?
He's never really been a guy to tee off on individuals. Very few times he's done that in my career playing for him. What he's going to focus on is getting, winning your one-on-one matchup, really, and then, like you were saying, team defense, making sure that you, are playing strong team defense and one-on-one defense and getting the stick on hands, making sure that they're not able to make these easy passes.
As you just saw right there, Jace Thomas won the faceoff. I believe that's his first faceoff, but quick in the possession, they turned it over, put the ball on the ground, and it's back to CNU.
Good strong ride by the attackman. Oh, out of bounds. Good, nice hard work from Seth Garf and Tennyson Smith.
So we have about a minute left. Knights possession, looking to get on the board. First time of the game. Trying to get back into this as this quarter hasn't been in their favor. But Knights with a possession here. As Tennyson moves the ball around.
I really hope they can hold for the last shot, get a hold for that good opportunity, give their defense a little bit of rest before the period ends. They cannot give up a goal.
So Sean Lamb behind.
And a high pass seems to be backed up. Oh, they got the over and back rule, so the captains will gain possession. Not what you're looking for to end the period.
No, the opposite of what you were saying. And Dylan Rice with the ball now, their leading goal scorer. It looks like a stop and play.
Looks like a quick timeout by the Knights to end the period.
So in this position, you got 19 seconds left. You're down by this big of a margin right now. You can see the body language from Coach Lamb, a little frustrated, trying to keep it together. You have to come away with a stop here, right, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. A goal for the captains will be detrimental to the Knights. They got to play tight defense, making sure they're getting their stick on the hands, not allowing their Dodgers to find open backside feet cutters for those easy backside goals that they've had all game so far. So,
and possibly by getting a stop here as they put a few seconds back on the clock, if you can hold for these final 23 seconds, that'll kind of be your one small victory in this first quarter and hope to pick up the pieces and move on going forward, right?
Right. Lacrosse is a game of momentum, so even a small victory like that can completely shift the momentum of the game and allow the Knights to start winning more small victories, which will lead to goals, which can eventually, hopefully, lower the score gap. So let's see what happens.
Definitely. And it feels like in games like this, you're looking to your leaders, right? Maybe that's something that, not to say that there aren't leaders on the team, but as far as statistical leaders go, you're relying on some of these young guys who haven't played much college lacrosse, haven't been in this position. They really need somebody to lean on, it looks like, to kind of help them fight through this adversity.
Right. And as you can notice, the Knights are really focusing on ball pressure, really, like I was saying, trying to make sure that they can't find those wide open backside guys.
You seeing you working it, 10 seconds left in the quarter. Ripped a shot, but wide right. Low shot.
That was the look that they were looking for. He was wide open right at the perfect shooting spot, but wasn't able to capitalize on the shot. So good job by the Knights.
As we'll see. Seeing you with these final 6 seconds. The ball in play, Dylan Rice looking to take a shot, but easy save for Boston Priesler as that'll finish out the quarter. So to finish this quarter, we've got CNU up 7 to Southern Virginia 0, in which this first quarter really saw, as we mentioned, time of possession dominated by CNU as well as face-offs, as you would guess, with time of possession being so dominant that they've won these face-offs, really taken it to Southern Virginia, and they haven't had much response as the few chances they've had going back on offense.
Right, and if you look at their past 4 games, their offense actually has averaged almost 19 goals a game, which is outstanding for lacrosse. It's super high scoring. But on the flip side, their goals against average is almost 15. So to win a high caliber game like this, you can't have an offensive shootout, especially against a team like CNU who is so good at capitalizing on your mistakes. So I think that they need to slow their offense down, really go for these long 2-minute possessions like CNU's doing. It really does damage to a team's defense when they're having to constantly be running around. So.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say, or what would you think Jace Thomas could do to kind of pick up his game and start winning some more of those face-offs?
So I believe that if he's getting smoked on the move, that he can, focus more on defense. I know that's kind of weird to say. He doesn't have to surrender the face-off, but if he can, get a step out, put his leg out so that CNU cannot get a fast break on him, or, really force CNU to go backwards with the ball, which will allow the Knights to then fight for possession that way. Make it a 50-50 ground ball instead of a 100% ground ball for the other team. So let's see if he'll make the any adjustments for this quarter.
So we see the face-off here as we begin the second quarter. Again, CNU is up 7-0. So we see Tony Cruz and Jace Thomas, and Tony Cruz so quick on that face-off as he leads the attack for CNU. And another quick goal. Just how the first quarter started with 4 seconds in, and they were able to obtain another goal.
It looks like Colin Maxfield pulling the defense in together to kind of see what they can do to stop those quick, fast break goals. And like I was saying, I believe Jace could take a step out to the side and force Cruz to go backwards. It's too hard on your defense if you allow those straightforward fast breaks. And they also seems to be dropping Derek Marks, number 16, the long stick, to the 40-yard line, which hopefully will cut off the fast break as well.
So here we go. CNU scored another goal to start the second period. Jace Thomas, Tony Cruz on the face-off. Another victory by Tony Cruz.
But that'll be a violation again. It's got to come out. The ball has to come out of the back of the stick in one fluid motion. So lucky break for the Knights.
So the Knights in possession, first possession of the second quarter, looking to take some time off the clock, but certainly finish with a goal here. See the ball being worked around. Sean Lamb with the ball, taking it behind the net. He's got a man open, number 25, and that's the first goal of the game. Ripped that shot, number 25, Ty Veers, freshman out of Castle Rock, Colorado. Good offense, it looked like there by Sean Lamb working it behind, and Ty Veers able to find the open spot. Good pass and then a better shot.
No, absolutely. Sean Lamb dodging with his head up, really having his eyes upfield, and was able to find Ty streaking down the backside. So great job.
It's certainly what the Knights needed. They need to keep this close and need to get some of that momentum. As you mentioned, lacrosse is a game of momentum. So hopefully they got some of that back here as we see this third face-off of this second period. Again, Tony Cruz, Jace Thomas. Ball flipped backwards, but eventually picked up by CNU.
Which you lose the face-off, but then you take away the fast break, ideally. But
certainly
seems like they're still able to create a transition moment and a good shot and save.
Great save there by, again, number 31, the goalkeeper, Boston Priesler. So the Knights are looking to get out of their own end. Brady Cook with the ball.
Smart little bounce pass right there to Patrick Reese, still not able to handle it, and that'll be a turnover. I know Coach Lamb does not like those fancy plays. He likes it when they can keep things simple. If Brady was able to back up a little bit, roll back, you have 30 seconds to get it into the offensive zone. You don't need to rush those clears, so gives CNU another offensive opportunity, which is not what you want.
Not what you want, as we see CNU again. Dylan Rice with the ball, number 6, as he swings it back out front. Looking for their opportunity. Dylan Rice, leading goal scorer for Christopher Newport, in traffic, getting banged around a little bit, but makes it out safely.
That was good defense by the Knights. Kyle Fujikawa was on ball and was able to get his hands on stick on his hands and not allow him to make any feeds.
Dylan Rice behind the net.
Yeah, and this is a short stick on an attackman, so this is a very dangerous situation for the Knights.
Pass broken up on the ground, but picked up by CNU. In there, but nice check and good save by Boston Priesler. Good, strong defense, and that was a very timely save. Because it looks like there's going to be a penalty, however.
Yep, that's going to be on the Knights, unfortunately. Get another look at the Christopher Newport's man-up unit.
But in that situation, I would think you're almost okay with that penalty with how close the ball was to the net.
Right.
You're making the stop and don't keep this, or don't let that that score margin widen anymore.
Right. If your penalty will stop a goal, then all coaches will be okay with that. So
the Knights setting up their defense, getting ready to be down a man.
Penalty on Colin Maxfield, number 4.
Number 4, so We've got 12:57 in the second period remaining. The score is 8-1 in favor of Christopher Newport as the Knights are trying to pack in their defense and force a turnover.
They're two-man down, actually. So you got 6-on-4. Watch for the Knights to really, really play in tight to force those outside shots.
Good save by Boston Priesler again. You're asking a lot out of Boston right now, and being down 2 men right here, you know CNU is going to get their shots. So you're asking a tall order of him, but he starts off pretty strong.
Right, and he's actually having a really outstanding game. I know the score doesn't show it, but he's making the saves that he needs to be making, and which is what you want to see from a keep. So
CNU looking, gets the ball inside. The ball was on the ground for a minute.
Ooh, an outside ripper by number 11.
Number 11, Will Stockhausen, and I believe that's his second goal of the game. That was a pretty deep shot there, but he was able to find it through the defense and find the back of the net.
Yeah, and those are the shots you're going to give up, unfortunately, when you're 2 men down. I think as a Priesler just needs to step up and make a save, but you're asking a lot from a freshman goalie. So
from a freshman goalie who has made some good saves and really has been on his heels this whole game, as the defense hasn't helped him out too much up to this point. But again, we'll see another face-off here. Jace Thomas, Tony Cruz. Jace Thomas looking to at least get in the way and stop the attack. As the ball squirts out again to Tony Cruz.
Another quick, fast break by Cruz, except Cruz will take the shot this time.
Nice defense, it looked like there by Jace Thomas to break up that shot and make it go wide. But we'll stay in CNU possession with Dylan Rice behind the goal with the ball as he passes out to Matthew Chris, number 25. Jackson Deal wide open to number 25, Matthew Christ, who is their second goal scorer, as we mentioned. And he's got a handful this game, and it really looked like the defense just broke down there for Southern Virginia.
Yeah, it looks like they're still on the man down. Looks like they still have a man in the box. So, unfortunately, those are the kind of shots you're going to give up when you have penalties. So,
and I'm sure coming into this game, as we see the face-off here again, Coach Lamb never thought Jace Thomas would be having this kind of game so far. Again, Jace has had such a great season. He's a great player, and his numbers have been great so far this season, but just something with him today just hasn't been working for him. Maybe it's the matchup, but I'm sure this isn't what Coach Lamb was expecting.
Right. You expect at least 50% from your face-off guy. CNU seems to just have everything working their way right now, so we're going to get another look at their man-up unit, who has been extremely potent so far.
It looks like Southern Virginia does have 6 on the field now. Maybe that
penalty was released.
Yeah, penalty's done. So Knights back at full strength, trying to play some defense, trying to get something going. Of course, we've got 11 minutes left in the second period. The score is 10-1 in favor of CNU. And another goal for Matthew Christ, as he just found his way behind the defense right in front of the net.
Yeah, it looks like you're getting a lot of ball watching from the Knights defenders. Really able to pick up. They're losing their man, and there's not enough ball pressure to where the Dodger cannot find those open cutters. So.
And CNU seems to be doing a good job of moving without the ball, causing some confusion for the Knights defense, clearly opening up some wide open shots. As it looks like we have a new face-off man for Southern Virginia here. Not sure what.
It's number 25.
Number 20.
Ty Veers.
Ty Veers, who scored the lone goal for the Knights, and he comes away with the
victory.
With the victory. So maybe Coach Lamb found something, as the Knights desperately need a goal here. It's Ty Veers with the ball right now, trying to set up the offense.
So the Knights really need a long possession here. Their defense has taken a beating. They're tired. Priesler's seeing a lot of shots. They need a long possession, and they need to come away with the score here.
So Ty Veers passes, ball on the ground, but picked up, thankfully, by Carter Bean, number 3, working the right side.
Carter Bean is actually an excellent addition to the team this year. Also another freshman, leading or third in goals.
Carter Bean with the shot, but nice save by the CNU goalkeeper. That is number 15, Andrew Clark. Good look by Carter Bean, it looked like, and that's the shot the Knights need to take, but just a better save by Andrew Clark.
Yeah, and in their shooting drills, I know Coach Lamb is not a big fan of those bounce shots. He really likes to aim for top crossbar, because if you miss, then you get the backup and you get a retained possession. Bounce shot, that seems like CNU had no problem with that shot.
Nice defense there. Pass broken up by number 4, Colin Maxfield. Causes a rare turnover for the Knights, hopefully giving them some momentum as they head back the other way in transition. That's number 23, Patrick Reese, the ball, who passes off to number 42. Shot ripped by Tennyson Smith, number 10. There was some mustard behind that shot. That's for sure.
That shot was moving. I'm really impressed with the assist by Seth Garf. You know, he dodged deep into the defense, looked like he was gonna take it himself. Kept his head up and found Tennyson Schmidt on the backside. They were able to capitalize on a transition goal.
So we have 9:31 left in the second period. Knights just scored their second goal. CNU's up 11-2. Jace Thomas, interesting move to put him back in here after Ty Veers, number 25, took the last one and won it. Coach trying to show confidence in Jace, let him take a breather, let him just kind of relax and get his head right.
Oh, and that'll be CNU's third violation, which will result in a 30-second penalty. So we're going to get the first look of the Knights extra man unit. So another good play, something happening good for the Knights, maybe momentum swinging in their favor.
Still 9.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Knights would love to go on a couple goal scoring streak to close this gap, and possibly make a run in the second half.
So the Knights on the year with their man-up percentage is at 38.5%. That's pretty good for college lacrosse. So let's look for them to really move the ball quick, force the defense to rotate, and get the inside easy shot to Anthony Good.
So first man-up opportunity for Southern Virginia here. Working the ball around, being patient, but looking for their shot. 42, Seth Garf swings it. Ty Veers with the ball, number 25 now. Finds Sean Lamb to the right.
And a skip pass, not really able to hold on to the ball, and they will turn the ball over. And that is not what you want to do with your first man-up opportunity.
So Knights turn it over here. Back in CNU possession. Trying to get the ball back as Sean Lamb is defending the CNU man as he's in transition.
Sean Lamb will stay on his man and go over onto the defensive end. Look for CNU to try and bury Sean Lamb so that he can't sub off, forcing him to play defense. But Sean is an athletic player, and he should be able to handle.
Sean Lamb, of course, the son of Coach Jason Lamb. That shot, another wide shot, ripped by number 6, Dylan Rice, the leading goal scorer for CNU. Boston Preezer just couldn't catch up to that one, and it makes the score 12-2 in favor of Christopher Newport University.
CNU seems to be very accurate with their shooting today. That was a very, 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 very good shot.
So it looks like Jace Thomas again with the face-off here.
And that is not what you want to have happen. You get your first man-up opportunity, you turn the ball over, and allow the captains to not only kill the possession, but to get a goal at the end of it. Another quick transition. The ball will be put on the ground.
Another penalty looks like coming on CNU. Southern Virginia should have another man-up opportunity as they still have the ball here, looking to go back on the attack.
Right. The Knights really need to take advantage of this moment, but guess not. Kind of gave up a free play. But we'll get another look. Let's see if they slow things down a little bit and not try to, really work on the stick passing and making sure that they're taking care of the ball this go around.
So we see Ty Veers will be the man with the ball. So the Knights look to get on track, possibly score a couple goals in a row, kind of get their feet under them and grab some momentum from this game, a game in which CNU has dominated the momentum, the time of possession, the face-offs, and of course the goals so far, which is interesting. It feels like an uncharacteristic type of game for a Coach Lamb coach team. As we see the Knights take their possession, Ty Veers working to the right side, moving the ball pretty quickly. See Tennyson Smith.
Knights transitioning into their 3-3 offense. You're getting a lot of good action by number 27, Anthony Good, and an errant pass by Tennyson Schmidt. And another turnover for the Knights.
Seeing you again on the fast break as they've done for most of this game. The Knights are able to at least slow that attack down. Ball on the ground, but picked up by number 11, CNU.
Yeah, like you were saying, this is seeming like an out-of-character game for the Knights this year. I think the first real big matchup of the year, you got a lot of freshmen on the team. You're getting a lot of nerves. And I know in most sports, a 12-2 score deficit, might seem impossible to come back from. But like I said, lacrosse is a game of momentum, and as you've seen CNU score a goal in 4 seconds, that could be a difference made up in a matter of minutes. So let's see if the Knights can.
Another good save there by Boston Priesler. Picked up, and looks like going to be a Knight possession as Boston is looking for a man to distribute the ball to. Knights trying to get it over into the attack area. Sean Lamb with the ball. And Sean Lamb is a player you'd love to have in transition, holding the ball and forcing some offense there as the ball is slapped away. Right on cue as I'm talking about how good he is in transition. The ball slapped away. And back to CNU, number 35 with the ball.
And note that Sean Lamb was the CAC Rookie of the Year last year. He led the team in points, and he really is a strong leader for this Knights offense. So hopefully him and the attack can settle down and get the get the ball movement and protect it and make sure that they are capitalizing on all their looks.
They relied heavily on Sean Lamb last year. I think Coach Lamb would be, pretty honest that this year's team has more talent than last year's team probably did. And Sean, of course, being his son, he's grown up around lacrosse, very skilled, experienced player, and they trust him and asked him to do a lot last season, and it paid off. He won CAC Rookie of the Year and did a lot of good things. And as you mentioned, Ryan, I'm sure Coach Lamb is hoping he'll build on that.
Oh, man.
There's another good goal. That one was scored by number 10 for Christopher Newport. That's Griffin Haynes, and that'll be his 4th goal on the season. And you got to wonder, Ryan, as good at times as Boston Priesler has played in this game, at what point is Coach Lamb going to try and make a change, if nothing else, just to try something new, give the other goalkeeper a chance to get some more experience?
Right. I don't think you can credit Priesler for that goal. Patrick Reese was beat pretty steadily upfield. CNU was allowed the middle of the field, which is where you don't want an offensive player to be when you're a defender. Seems like they're making some changes on defense, but I think the Knights just really got to focus on not giving away the top side of the field, and really forcing their defender or their attackmen to go under the goal instead of above the goal.
So no face-off there. It'll be CNU possession.
Looks like we are man down.
Man down, number 11 for CNU, taking the ball.
CNU with the wheel action and off the pipe.
Oh.
That was a lucky break for Priesler.
Sure was. That was Dylan Rice, the leading goal scorer for CNU. Ripped that shot, went off the bar, And now back in possession. Boston Priesler with the ball, looking for a man to distribute. Back on the ground, picked up by Boston Priesler. Again, CNU playing aggressive defense right here. They're trying to get into the attack area. Ty Veers with the ball, running down the left sideline now, trying to set up the offense.
It always makes it difficult when a team can ride well, as CNU has done this game. Made it very difficult for the Knights to, stay settled on the clear and to transition the ball into offense. But
certainly not giving anything easy to Southern Virginia, as they've been prone to some turnovers in this game, and it's what you're looking to see CNU do going forward. As Sean Lamb has the ball,
drawed a short stick defender, and then they're able to switch that off without any problems. Knights able to kill the penalty, and now we're going to get another look at their offense.
So ball being swung around the edge in front of the net. Ty Veers with the ball, looking to make a move.
CNU seems to be playing a zone offense or zone defense. So the key to this is really forcing or making quick passes and then trying to open up skip lanes, as you saw right there. Oh, that is not the pass you want to be making.
Carter Bean was looking for Ty Veers there, but ball on the ground, and CNU doing what they do, pick it up and quick transition for the fast break. As he finds he's got number 16 open. Oh, good save by Boston Priesler. Found that in and is looking to make a transition of his own.
But a bad pass to the middle of the field allows CNU to retain possession.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get something going offensively for the Knights, possibly start their own fast break, but as you mentioned, Ryan, it looked like not the most advised pass, as CNU takes the ball now, has their offense set up.
And there really is no need for that pass. He wasn't streaking down the field to be wide open in transition. And you do have 30 seconds once you pick up the ball to get it to the offensive side of the field. But
a wide open goal again for Matthew Christ. Haven't been writing it down, but I think that's goal number 5 or 6 for him this game. He's the second leading goal scorer for this Christopher Newport team. Was wide open right there. It didn't look like he had any defenders on him.
No, a lot of ball watching. They were definitely out of position. And like I said at the beginning of the game, CNU is very, very, very good at capitalizing on your mistakes. So too many mistakes allows for too many goals.
So here we'll see a face-off again. Tony Cruz versus Jace Thomas. Tony Cruz really have gotten the better of Jace in this game so far, as Jace was able to pop that one out, and he picks it up and is in transition. Nice sight for the Knights team, for Coach Lamb. As we've got Seth Garf with the ball now as the Knights are setting up their offense. Seth Garf working, nice little spin move. Gets the ball over to Tennyson Schmidt.
And that's always a confidence booster when you can find, you're having a frustrating game and you finally can win one.
Good shot there, it looked like, but another good save by Andrew Clark. Hasn't had too much work his way and really only given up 2 goals now, as he made that save and CNU is back in transition.
And that shot was taken by Cade Rich. He's actually been a player who's stepped up on this second line midfield unit, playing his role and buying into Coach Lamb's system. So, been real impressed with his play this season.
Cade Rich, of course, the younger brother of Casey Rich, who just graduated, leading goal scorer for Southern Virginia all time. Even had his chance at a professional lacrosse squad in the offseason here, and so good bloodlines for lacrosse for sure. Good to have a Rich on the team.
Absolutely. Knights playing a little more aggressive defense.
We're almost to the halfway period here. There's a minute left in this second quarter as Dylan Rice for CNU takes the ball, making his move. Good, strong shot, but better save by Boston Priesler.
That shot looked a little rushed by the captains. I think you're finally starting to get some, they're starting to put in some newer guys that don't usually get a lot of playing time, and if you're not seeing that same patient offense as you were seeing at the beginning of the game.
So CNU really pushing the defense here, forcing Boston Priesler to come out and kind of find where he wants to go with the ball. It looks like another turnover.
That's going to be a quick turnover, and you're going to get a nice.
Great play by Boston Priesler. Real heads up to get back and make the save. But they're going to call another violation, so it'll stay in CNU's possession. 30 seconds to go in this first half. Will Stockhausen with the shot, but it looks like a timeout
was called before by CNU, called before the shot. So
lucky for CNU, Boston Priesler had that one tracked, and he got it in. But just like we saw in the first quarter, about 20 seconds left, there's going to be a timeout, a chance for the Knights to set up their defense and come away with a small victory here in the hopes to kind of swing momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely cannot let a score happen here. They need to tighten up on defense, really making sure they're getting on hands and not allowing the Dodger to find openings, whether that's towards the goal or open cutters.
So Southern Virginia, as we mentioned before, a very young squad. They're asking a lot of their freshmen, relying on their freshmen. CNU having more seniors on their team, more juniors, and it looks like that they may be exposing that inexperience a little bit. Anyone who's talked to Coach Lamb, who knows anything about lacrosse and knows anything about this team, a lot of talent, and Coach Lamb has told me that. Really excited. They have all the talent in the world, but talent can't take the place of experience and knowing what it's like being in these situations.
Right.
And I think that might be some of what you're seeing here. As you see Casey Rich on the sideline as an assistant coach, we were just talking about him. He's trying to impart some of his wisdom, his experience, expertise, to try and get the Knights and help them get back into this game.
Right.
So 22 seconds left to go. CNU up 14-2 on Southern Virginia. 22 seconds left in the half, and the captains are going to take this ball out of the timeout, looking to make one more goal. As Southern Virginia looks to make a stop and in a perfect world be able to go on a quick attack with a quick turnover and possibly get a goal of their own before the half.
Right, absolutely.
The shot ripped by Will Stockhausen, number 11. Stopped by Boston Priesler, but the ball was not cleared. And it's going to be Christopher Newport's ball possession still with 7 seconds left to go in the first half.
That was an excellent save by Priesler. Oh, giving up the middle of the field, but saved by the lucky back check. The Knights have really got to work on protecting the top of the field and really sending their defender or their offensive player down the wing instead of streaking up the middle of the field.
So that will do it for the first half. Again, those of you just joining us, this game, obviously the scoreboard really tells it all. Christopher Newport up with a 14-2 12-goal lead in the first half, and really the name of the game has been losing those face-offs. CNU has dominated on the face-offs, and the time of possession has been in their favor, of course. And the few times Southern Virginia has had the ball, they've had a few chances, but been plagued by turnovers. Well, what do you expect them to come out and try and fix here in the second half, Ryan?
I would definitely say they're going to make a move on face-offs. Not that they're going to take Jace Thomas out, but they're going to really, they're going to have to make some changes, whether they're bringing personnel back to stop the breaks, having Jace Thomas take more of a defensive move rather than trying to win the ball. They're also going to have to, work on their turnovers on offense. They're playing sloppy and they're not moving the ball well. And it doesn't seem to me that they're in sync. Definitely not playing how they played last week against Guilford College. So look forward to Lamb really working with his team, making sure that his offense is working well together. So
awesome. So we will take a short break. Again, 14-2 is your halftime score. Please come back. We'll be back shortly for the second half of Christopher Newport versus Southern Virginia. Welcome back to Southern Virginia University. We are bringing live to you the second half of Southern Virginia University versus Christopher Newport University. The score as of now is 14-12 in favor of Christopher Newport. I am Seth Hansen, joined with me by Ryan Larson, bringing you today's action. Ryan, we spoke a little bit before the games, or before the second half started. We were just talking. Knights need to start dominating, doing a little more on the offensive end, maintaining possession, being able to win those face-offs to try and get back into the game here. What do you think Coach Lamb was speaking about at halftime to his team?
I bet the final thing that he said was "Don't play like a freshman," which is funny, but it's true. You got these. We were talking right after the first half ended. CNU has played mostly freshmen, where we're seniors and juniors, while we're playing mostly freshmen and sophomores. So these freshmen are definitely going to have to step up and start, playing more patient and playing like a junior or senior. So that's how the Knights are going to win these big top-tier CAC games.
Certainly, and Christopher Newport really is in that top echelon. We talked about this conference being such a big one. You've got Salisbury at the top, of course, back-to-back national champs. You've got York, who's a real good team, and CNU is probably in that class. Maybe a half a step below, but certainly as good as they come. As Southern Virginia tries to make a name for themselves in this conference, as we see the face-off here again, Jace Thomas able to poke that ball away from Tony Cruz on the face-off. It looked like a turnover there, but ball popped away and into CNU hands.
That's the kind of move you want to see from Jace Thomas. You see, he wasn't really trying to win the ball, really just to jam up Cruz, allow his wings to get more involved into the face-off.
So Brady Cook with the ball on the ground for a bit, but picked up by Brady Cook as they're trying to get it out of their area.
Risky pass there.
Got lucky.
That was not turned over.
Yeah, lucky it wasn't picked up. Another risky pass as the ball's on the ground, and Christopher Newport picks it up.
And it will be headed back towards the CNU side of the offense. That's really frustrating. You force a turnover, but you just can't connect on your passing. And you're back on defense. So
back on defense. Knights looking again for a turnover. CNU with the ball, taking their time, being patient behind the net. Matthew Chris with the ball, number 25. He's got 5 or 6 goals in this game. We lost count. He's really feeling it. The second leading goal scorer on their team as he takes another shot, but good save again by Boston Preisler, who has had a decent game at times. Hasn't been, a stone wall, but has been, had his moments here. There's another shot, but this time it finds the back of the net. That shot was taken by number 4, Shane McKenna, for Christopher Newport. That's his first goal of the game, number 6 on the season for him. So beginning of the second half starts a lot like the first half. CNU with a quick goal. They make that lead now 15-2 as Jace Thomas looks to take this next faceoff. So Jace Thomas hasn't been to his usual form today. Might just be an off day for him. As you see there, though, this is the second straight.
And a good hit.
Physical play by Jace Thomas. Maybe a little frustration in that hit as the Knights are trying to pick up the loose ball. Eventually picked up by Christopher Newport, but that's the second straight face-off now that we've seen.
Well, the ball turned over right in the middle of the field, but not able to pick it up. Sean Lamb would want that one back. I guarantee that.
Sean trying to make a defensive play now. Shot ripped by Matthew Chris. Ball right in front. Boston Preisler, able to pick it up. Good save and good recovery. But as we mentioned, as I was saying, Jace Thomas looks like he's getting a little more into form on his faceoffs. It looked like in the first half that absolutely nothing was going his way, but now he's made a couple nice plays.
Right, and sometimes it just takes one faceoff to boost your confidence back up. And like I said, lacrosse is a game of momentum, and one positive play can spark a huge difference in the rest of the game. So let's see if Jace Thomas can hold this for the rest of the game.
So Knights back on the offensive end. Sean Lamb with the ball going up the right side, looking to find somebody with a good opportunity at the shot. Finds Tennyson Schmidt, who passes again out in front. This is Ty Reeves with the shot, but a good save by Andrew Clark, the goalkeeper for Christopher Newport, as Carter Bean looks to pick this ball up.
That's frustrating. Carter Bean seems to be playing. That was a little lackadaisical on the ground ball right there, but he seemed to think that it was tipped, so he was trying to let the ball roll out of bounds, but clearly going to the captain's possession. And that's not something you want to do. You don't want to, leave the fate of the ball in the ref's hands.
Right.
Refs are human; they make mistakes. So you got to get. He needs to pick up the ball and really make sure that they can retain possession.
So CNU back on the offensive end. Will Stockhausen, number 11, with the ball. CNU working their way, getting inside, but nice defense to force it back out. Ball on the ground. It's going to remain in Christopher Newport's possession. That's Dylan Rice, number 6.
That was very aggressive play by number 4, Colin Maxfield.
So CNU looking for a shot. Will Stockhausen back pass now, back behind the net.
You're starting to see a lot more aggressive play on ball by the Knights defenders. I wonder if they were, if that's what Coach Lamb and Coach Winterton talked over in the locker room, was to play more aggressive. But you're starting to see a lot more hands on this, or stick on the hands, and not allowing for those quick transitions.
Ball on the ground. Looks like a turnover there, picked up by Carter Bean. Trying to go the other way as he's knocked out, but he passes it forward. But it looks like it's going to be out of bounds.
Seems like they're going to call him out of bounds. Yep, that's what they're going to do. They called him out of bounds.
So kind of the story of the game. Anytime something looks like it's going to go in Southern Virginia's way, it ends up being another turnover or something like that. As Christopher Newport with the ball now on the attack.
Oh, and he was caught sleeping. Preisler was lucky that was shot and bounced over. That would have been an easy dump into the goal.
So number 31, it was a nice pass into number 31, Lucas Berry, right in front of the goal. Tried to bounce it in, but missed his mark and picked up by Boston Preisler. And the Knights are now trying to get on the offensive possession, need a good offensive possession, as you've mentioned, Ryan, multiple times. Need to try and run some clock. That ball is on the ground.
And another turnover.
Picked up, but tried to push out. Ball still on the ground. Picked up. Pass to Sean Lamb.
Ooh, and that's a dangerous pass there. Sean had to really keep his head on the ball with collapsing guys, which looks like the Knights are going to have a failure to advance call, which means they were not able to clear the ball from the defensive zone and get a touch into the box within 30 seconds. So possession will go back over to the captains.
Seeing you looking for the attack. Nice catch by Matthew Chris, number 25, back to Dylan Rice. Behind the net. Lucas Berry, 31, working the ball behind the net now. Looks for a man over the middle, but errant pass, ball on the ground.
Possession's going to go towards the Knights with the over and back call. So
Sean Lamb with the ball. Knights on the attack, looking for a fast break opportunity.
He's got his brother Jacob Lamb down open in the middle field, and it's going to score. Nice goal. Brother to brother assist to a goal. Assist by Sean Lamb to number 5, Jacob Lamb.
And that is what the Knights needed, certainly. You see, as you mentioned early in the broadcast, Ryan, that the Knights like to take advantage, if they can, of CNU defenders being out of position or not having all the numbers they need, and that was certainly on display on that play right there.
Right, absolutely. And throughout the whole season, they've really been successful on pressing early offense to where, you're allowed to you're taking offensive opportunities against CNU's offensive players, players who might necessarily not be used to playing defense. So,
as we see Jace Thomas there again, it really has stepped it up here in the second half. His, third strong face-off, won it there, but Tennyson Schmidt trying to pick the ball up here, gets it.
Got a little step here. Let's see if they'll press any early offense or settle to, get a full strength 6-on-6 off of. So it looks like Cruz is trying to sub off, matching off with Derek Marks, but he seems to have them pinned down, not allowing them to sub, which will have the Knights be playing 5-on-5 with the captains.
So Ty Reeve here with the ball, looking for a shot. Nice spin move, reverse move, but shot bounced and wide, but will stay in the Knights' possession. Excuse me, Ty Veers, not Ty Reeve. Excuse me, sorry. With Tennyson Schmidt with the ball behind the net now.
Seem to be getting a little pick action back behind the cage with Schmidt and Sean Lamb. And a pass inside forced will be a turnover for the Knights. And that's really been the story of this game. The Knights, showing a little promise on offense, getting some looks, and then making a stupid mistake towards the middle of the field. Those are the kind of mistakes that they're going to have to minimize if they're going to be winning these top-tier CAC games.
So Christopher Newport with possession again and looking to make an attack here. See Dylan Rice again, as he so often does, has the ball behind the net, looks and shoots but misses. Boston Preisler came out the goal for a second but gets back to his spot. And now you see Christopher Newport setting up again. Number 22, Drew Magnuson with the ball.
A good step inside, forcing the Knights out of position. Good solid defense right there.
So the ball being swung around the perimeter here. Matthew Chris with the ball, swings again, finds Dylan Rice. As Dylan is heading back towards behind the goal to set up and get everything situated.
This is the matchup CNU wants. They want their best attackman going against a short stick, and results into a goal. So
that was Dylan Rice again, leading goal scorer for Christopher Newport. Finds his mismatch and takes advantage. That was Brady Cook with the short stick trying to defend, but ends up in a goal for CNU. Score now 16-3 with 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
And with the mismatch behind the cage, you would expect an earlier slide from the Knights defense, but they didn't even have a slide. The CNU attack was able to, really, pick his shot with no contestant. So
Tony Cruz wins the face-off here, but the Knights were able to at least slow the attack down. Now trying to get into defensive position. Tony Cruz for CNU, a senior out of Littleton, Colorado, 6'2", 200-pounder. Definitely had a good game, and Jace Thomas, who's been better in the second half, but really has struggled and hasn't been to his usual form of what we've seen this season. Number 4, Shane McKenna with the ball, working behind the net. Finds Dylan Rice up front, but shot wide to the left, remains CNU possession.
And those are the kind of shots the Knights want to be giving up. That was 15 yards, straight center, easy. Preisler was able to keep his eyes on the shot the entire way. So
number 42, Jackson Deal with the ball, being defended by Reese, trying to make a stop, force a turnover. Matthew Christ finds Dylan Rice up front, but the pass goes wild, ends up on the ground, and number 5, Lamb with the ball, makes the nice pass over the middle.
It was an excellent clear by Jacob Lamb.
So Tennyson Schmidt with the ball.
Oh, and a bad pass. They had Seth Garf open, but
if he'd been able to complete that pass, that might have been a good scoring opportunity, but maybe too many aggressive plays on offense, too many aggressive passes.
Right. Maybe it's time they start playing a little more conservative.
Certainly, and focus on maintaining possession as Andrew Clark for the captains with the ball. Looking for his man. The Knights trying to play a little more pressure defense, but captains with the ball in scoring position. Dylan Rice on the attack. So Kyle Fujikawa defending Dylan Rice behind the net right now, trying to make life difficult for him. He finds Matthew Chris now being defended by number 9, Bryce Kimber. Trying to work his way into the middle of the field, looking for the right pass. Finds his man right in front of the goal, and that'll be a goal as well as a penalty, it looks like, on number 23, Patrick Reese. So CNU certainly having their way in this game as the score is now 17-3, as well as they're about to have a man advantage. Ball that close to the net. There wasn't much Boston Preisler, the goalie for Southern Virginia, could do in that situation, and certainly not the first time we've seen that in this game.
Right, and like I've said all game, the Knights are having a real hard time defending the middle of the field. The captains are able to, really take their time and carry the ball through sweeping across the field, which gives the Dodger full view of the field. And with no ball pressure, he's able to find those wide open guys on the backside, which has happened, probably 10 times this game. But we're going to get another look at the captain's extra man unit.
So CNU, again on the attack, Will Stockhausen rips a deep shot. And no word from the referee. Looks like a save by Boston Preisler. It looked like from here it might have been in the net, but we're certainly not going to argue with the referees at this point.
No, absolutely not.
The ball is on the ground, but thankfully picked up. Number 33 on the attack, Brad Gardner.
And they got a long penalty to kill, so expect CNU to be very aggressive on defense right now because they will have an extra man.
So that ball is flipped up on the ground, but picked up, momentarily, but dropped again. Still on the ground. Someone looking for it as it's kicked out. On the ground again. Sean Lamb almost had it, but
Keep able to pick it up. And some contact right there. But that's what happens when you come out of the crease. Drawing a slash call there, so.
And another goal. That was Matthew Christ again, number 25 for Christopher Newport. That's 6 or 7, possibly 8 for him. He's really having a game here. Came in as the second leading goal scorer for Christopher Newport.
You can definitely see the frustration on this Knights team. They're starting to get physical, swinging their sticks. So now there will be another man down face-off. So,
and you certainly, if you were a member of this Southern Virginia team, not expecting this type of game. They were 4-0 coming in. They had some big wins over Virginia Tech in a scrimmage. They had a big win over, I believe, Roanoke College in a scrimmage. A lot of people believe this is one of the most, if not the most talented lacrosse team that Southern Virginia has put out in school history. And so this is, I'm sure, coming to us as a shock to a lot of them. We've mentioned a lot of young guys on this team learning how to deal with the adversity, and you can't take the place of experience. It's just something you have to go through, and hopefully these young guys can learn from it. As we see another face-off, this will be Jace Thomas as well as a new man for Christopher Newport. That is number 28, Corey Hart, who wins the face-off there.
CNU seems to be very deep deep at the face-off X as Hart is able to win an easy move against Jace Thomas.
Right in front. Again, that was Lucas Berry Jr. out of Burke, Virginia, taking the shot and finding the back of the net there. So the score is now 19-3 with 3:30 left to go in the third period. Lucas Berry, again, number 31, having a good game. He's had a few goals here, came in with 3. Has had a few goals in this game, as a handful of people do. And I don't know, Ryan, what do you say as a coach right now? I'm sure Coach Lamb is pulling his hair out. What do you do to try and help your team get back into this?
I think you just keep working as hard as you can. You tell your players to not give up, don't roll over. Nice. As you see Jace Thomas with an easy win right there. And and off the crossbar. Just seems we can't catch a break.
So CNU has a new goalkeeper in there. That is number 20, Matt Scott, who's replaced Andrew Clark, who did a really good job. And Matt Scott making a nice save there on the save. It looked like it looked like Southern Virginia had a real opportunity there, was quick on the break, found a man open in front of the goal, but wasn't able to find the back of the net.
Right. And I think back to what you were saying earlier, what Coach Lamb is probably saying, this is a learning experience to a lot of these young players who, in the past 4 games are used to scoring almost 19 goals a game. And they need to, they're probably now realizing that that's not the case when it comes to these top-tier CAC teams, that they're going to have to, learn to be more patient and work together and, tighten up these mistakes and turnovers. Otherwise, a good team like CNU is going to capitalize on those mistakes.
So Southern Virginia with the ball again after the CNU turnover. Sean Lamb working behind the net, looking, trying to find an open man. Being defended well, a lot of pressure in his face.
I've been real impressed with this Christopher Newport defense. Definitely seem to have made a lot of progress since last year. And a big hit by Isaac DeJarlis, jarring the ball loose.
Nice defense. Picked up now by Ty Veer, number 25, as he's on the attack.
He had a lane there, but decided not to take it. Probably a smart move, trying to, settle down and, really milk this offensive possession.
So we're coming up on a minute and a half left in the third period. Score 19-3 in favor of Christopher Newport. So we've got Carter Bean working his way.
Oh, and a block shot.
Block shot bounces back to Ty Veer. And hopefully, as you've mentioned a few times, Ryan, hopefully they'll try and save for the last shot here, take this time off the clock, and finish it with a goal. It's Ty Veer again with the ball. Carter Bean working his way. Nice pick by Ty. Carter Bean with the long shot, but saved, or at least wide to the left. So 52 seconds left. Remains in Southern Virginia possession. That's Tennyson Schmidt with the ball. Finds a wide open Seth Garf cutting towards the net. Nice pass and an even better finish by Seth Garf, who came into this game as the he was the leading goal scorer. Had 16 coming into the game, and that'll be number 17 on the season for him. And possibly some signs of life. I'm sure that made Coach Lamb happy.
Right. No, and Garf is definitely one of the best additions to this team's to this year's Knights team. Very talented player, left-handed, and he works really well with the other two attackmen, with Sean Lamb and Tennyson Schmidt. So I'm excited to see him for the rest of the season.
So we're going to call
a face-off violation against CNU.
So Brady Cook with the ball after the turnover, after the violation, looking to score another goal here and go on a little run if they can.
Schmidt thought about it, but decided to hold on to the ball. We're going to get a look at this second midfield unit. Brady Cook, who is usually a defensive player, is staying down on playing a little offense this possession.
See Sean Lamb looking for the man. Finds number 20, who rips the shot, but a nice save. Was trying to go 5-hole there, it looked like, and nice save by Matt Scott, the new goalkeeper for Christopher Newport.
And I don't think that's the look you want to take if you're Cade Rich. I think you had it wide open with your left hand. I think if you were to hold on to it in your left hand and either take it a little closer, instead you bring it back to your right hand. You shoot a low-to-low shot. Goalie's able to eat that up all day. So I think, especially with this score deficit, you got to be smarter with your shots. So I mean, it's good we're getting offensive looks, but I think we got to take smarter looks, smarter shots, and we're definitely starting to see some patience on the Knights side, though, which is a good thing.
So the end of the third period, about to start the fourth. Christopher Newport has really had their way in this game. If you're just joining us, Christopher Newport is leading this game 19-4. Southern Virginia just hasn't had much success on the offensive end. recently have picked up on their face-offs, but face-offs are certainly in Christopher Newport's favor here. And in a game like this, with the game sort of out of reach, Ryan, is it fair to say at this point, I mean, you're still in a game, you still want to play hard, but is it fair to say that they need to focus on just let's focus on cleaning up the little things that we haven't done right, something we can build on towards our next game?
Right, absolutely. And I'm never one to say that the games are out of reach. I obviously would like to see that the Knights could put things together and come back, but absolutely, you definitely want to use this as a practice experience to where you're playing your best against a really good team. And I don't think we've seen the best from the Knights for this game. I think we're seeing a lot of turnovers, and CNU is able to capitalize on all these mistakes that are being made.
And so the Knights, their next in action non-conference game against Merchant Marine here up the fields on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. As that ball is on the ground, trying to get picked up, and it is finally by Brady Cook. So, of course, Merchant Marine, not a conference game, but certainly a good opportunity to get a win or at least, get better. And I'm sure Coach Lamb expects to win every time he comes out on the field. That's the kind of attitude and passion he coaches with. I'm sure right now they're preaching and hoping that they just get on track, build some momentum so that they can feel confident going into that match on Wednesday before they end up getting back into conference games a few weeks later. Their next conference game will be against Marymount on Saturday, March 24th. So got some work to do before they play then. As you see the shot there by Sean Lamb. Doesn't go out, though. Picked up by Christopher Newport, but back in their possession as they are trying to clear the ball.
Now, one positive takeaway from this game is that you can see it as positive, but this can kind of serve as a reality check to a lot of these young players who are used to, playing really high caliber or high scoring offenses, to where now that they're gonna, know that they need to put in some more work on and off the field, and it's early enough in the season to where a game like this is not going to be detrimental to the season.
Right, and that feels like. That wake-up call and reality check comes to a lot of athletes who go to play Division III. There's this stigma that, for whatever reason, that Division III is not as competitive or not as good. But as we see, especially if you play in some of these conferences like men's lacrosse in the Capital Athletic Conference, you are playing with some of the best talent out there, and it's time to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Right, absolutely. And I think a lot of these young kids are realizing it. That they know it, and then now just can see what it takes to be successful in this conference.
Certainly, a lot of hard work needs to be put in. As Christopher Newport again with the ball on the attack, as a bad pass there, out of bounds, goes to the Knights, and the Knights will look to flip the field and be on the attack. Number 4, Colin Maxfield with the ball here. Passes back to Boston Preisler. Preisler makes the long pass, clears the zone, up to Tyvier, excuse me.
Get another look at this first-string midfield unit.
Tennyson Schmidt with the ball. Now being aggressive shot, bounced it, wasn't able to find it, ball still on the ground.
Oh, big hit on Seth Garf will draw a flag.
2 flags have been thrown, so it looks like, unless they offset, it looks like Southern Virginia will have a man advantage, which they certainly could use at this point.
That's going to be a full serving penalty, which means if the Knights are to score a goal, the penalty will not release. So that is a big break for the Knights. Hopefully we can capitalize on this opportunity.
So, yeah, definitely, as you mentioned, big break. Knights with an opportunity here to gain momentum, put some goals on the board, and close this gap a little bit.
Yep. So not seen much from this Knights extra man unit. So
Ty Veer going to start with the ball here in an attacking position. Swings the ball back, moving it back and forth, being patient and looking for their shot. Now behind Seth Garf, who passes back to Tennyson Schmidt.
the Knights are currently playing in a 1-4-1 as they do their action into the 3-3. Feed inside to Tony Good.
Wow, incredible save there. Again, Matt Scott, number 20 for Christopher Newport, but it looked like it was set up well. Tony Good had a good look at it, but just couldn't find it.
Right. And I think he was a little rushed on the shot. You know, when you're inside, that was the position I used to play in man up. It definitely feels like you don't have a lot of time, but those really good players, they'll find time to protect the stick and really pick their shot to where they can, you know, bury that ball. It's hard to get that close and to not come away with the goal.
It's a good save by Christopher Newport. Matt Scott, the new goalkeeper who replaced Andrew Clark, resulted in Christopher Newport with the ball now, looking like they might be taking their time, though. As I say that, they start to attack a little more, but Christopher Newport, big lead and on the offensive possession right now. So number 24 still holding on to the ball. Reeves Dunn, freshman out of Charlottesville for Christopher Newport. Haven't seen much of him. Maybe seeing some of these younger players for Christopher Newport getting in the game now. As he passes to 26, Spencer Shipman working his way in front. To number 12 and just bringing the ball out. Number 12, Jordan Lee out of Ashburn, Virginia. Now they're working their way to the left side and behind the net.
They seem to like this matchup. They're setting up for an isolation dodge. Look for a quick slide from the yep, and there it is.
That shot was rocketed. It looked like by number 50, Glenn Doring. He's a sophomore out of Street, Maryland. Was high there. Looked like Boston Chrysler was in position anyway, but possession stays to CNU.
Again, liking the matchup, this short stick on short stick. Seems like they have an attackman on a offensive-minded midfielder, so they're going to really test this matchup. Good, strong defense.
So Will Stockhausen, a couple goals in this game for CNU with the ball. Finds his way in a little bit, makes the pass, but is knocked to the ground. Shot by number 12, again Jordan Lee, but nice save by Boston Chrysler. Southern Virginia looks to go on the attack. Nice swim move, Carter Bean, as he runs through the middle of the field.
Yeah, and he'll have no problem clearing this ball right here. Oh. And we have a flag down, so the Knights will have a bit of a free play.
So 8 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the game. CNU up 19-4, but advantage to the Knights right now. They kind of have a free play until the penalty is officially in play.
Sean Lamb has drawn a shorty. He's able to get top side, and he will settle things down a bit. Again, there is a flag down, so this is technically a free play.
Southern Virginia number 28 working his way inside. Nice little bounce shot, but didn't find the net. Looks like Christopher Newport has replaced again their goalie. So now in net, it looks like it's Thomas Brackett, freshman out of Manassas, Virginia.
And that's always nice to see seniors getting involved. That's Mike Anderson. This is his 4th year with the program. You know, he's an excellent player, and it's nice to see when he gets involved into the offense.
Certainly, and it's a tough thing. You know, Coach Lamb is a really good recruiter. We've mentioned throughout the broadcast, brought in some really good young talent, and it's good to see, like you said, Mike Anderson, who is a senior, been around, kind of take that role, understands his role, and but when he gets in there, is able to contribute.
And Carter being frustrated with that pass. Can't seem to catch a break with this Knights extra man unit. Aggressive ride by Sean Lamb.
So streaking down the field, Christopher Newport looking for another goal to add to their lead. Number 21, Miles Collins with the ball as he passes off to number 42, Jackson Deal.
Sean Lamb is now pinned down on defense. So expect the captains to try to dodge against him. Sean is a very athletic player and very capable to play defense. So good defense.
Nice defensive stick right there to knock the ball away, but still stays in Christopher Newport's possession as they continue to work their way. Drew Magnuson with the ball now, 22. Passes off back to number 4, Shane McKenna, who's heading towards the goal. But finds no lane, backs it back out, and finds Drew Magnuson again on the right side. Now number 42 looking to take the shot. Can't find the shot, tries to pass out to Shane McKenna, but bad pass results in an out of bounds and turnover to the Knights.
That was an excellent defensive stand right there. Haven't had many successful stops here, but it's always good to see. They're still working hard and still playing their positioning and
trying to fight through it. Yeah,
right.
Certainly good effort by the Knights. Now working in the middle of the field as they clear this ball. Number 16 heading towards the goal.
And Derek Marks has, he has tallied a few goals in his career, so he is very capable of scoring, even with that long stick. Knights will settle things down on offense.
Cade Rich with the ball, as we mentioned, younger brother of Casey Rich. Casey, who's a great player of Southern Virginia history, leads the program in career goals and has done some great things. So Cade comes from good bloodline. Nice shot there.
Shot.
Looked like Cade Rich, as we were talking, went 5-hole between the goalie's legs, at least it looked like from here, to find the back of the net. So with 5:37 left to play in the game, the Knights add another goal to their tally, making the score 19-5. And I'm sure that made his big brother proud. He's not showing it on the sideline, but I'm sure inside he's proud of his little brother and Coach Lamb as well. So as you mentioned, Ryan, they're certainly showing some fight. They haven't, packed it in. They haven't given up. As frustrating as this game has been, they're certainly still trying to get after it right now.
Right, absolutely. And you're definitely starting to see some aggressive play from all ends of the field. That was a very aggressive dodge by Cade Rich, and he's able to set up in his position that he likes to shoot from, get his hands free, and he fired an excellent shot low to beat CNU.
So CNU with the ball again, heading towards the goal. Oh, and a bad pass there. Going to be out of bounds and heading back towards the Knights. So Brad Gardner taking the ball right now, taking it up, looking for a pass, possibly clear it. Passes to his goalkeeper, Boston Preisley, who passes back to Gardner. The Knights clear it. Sean Lamb with the ball.
As he draws a short stick defender, expect him to take his time and really attack this matchup. Watches the Knights clear space for him to give him space to work. Good slide as he reattacks the slide.
Nice
Get
shot
topside
there.
And score.
Good finish by Sean Lamb. Of course, he's a sophomore last year, winning CAC Rookie of the Year. Has been a big part of this team as the Knights score again. So that makes the score now 19-6. We've got 4 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game. certainly hasn't been what they'd hoped for or what Coach Lamb expected, but we're seeing some good effort here at the end of the game, seeing some fight and a little bit of cleaner play than what we saw earlier.
Oh, absolutely.
So Jace Thomas going to take the face-off again. He's fighting for that ball, trying to dig it out.
And that's going to be a violation towards CNU. Like the ball has to come out of the back of the stick in one current motion, in one smooth motion.
So Brady Cook rips that shot there, but does go high, stays in Southern Virginia possession.
Now, one of the interesting switches this year is Brady Cook. Last year he was the top scoring midfielder for the Knights team, and they seem to have him playing more of a defensive role due to his athletic ability and his likeness of defense. So he's playing a little offense right now, but as you see him subbing off the field too.
So Ty Veer with the ball. Being patient on offense. We only have 3 minutes, 35 seconds left in the game. Trying to get a good possession here, something that they can build off of.
This is a good long dodge by Isaac DeJarlis. Oh, and a slow shot easily picked up by CNU. So,
ball on the ground, though. DeJarlis almost picked it up. Ball still on the ground. Slapped away and picked up by Sean Lamb, but it looks like there's a stoppage in play. Going to be CNU ball.
Oh, seems like Seth Garf broke his stick.
Oh, wow.
He'll have to come off. He's not allowed to play with a broken stick. So
certainly don't see that every day.
No, and that's very unfortunate. They're not cheap. So
certainly feels like nothing going their way today. I'm sure that's a frustrating play, but
sad insult to injury, you break your stick. So
play certainly continues, though. CNU with the ball. Looks like they're just trying to take a little bit of time off the clock, as given the score and situation of the game. Colin Maxfield defending on the CNU attackman. Keeping up with him. Looks like a bad pass, which is going to result in a turnover going the Knights' way. Sean Lamb doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this part of the game right now on offense.
Excellent take off the crossbar. But
oh, that was close.
That was close, yeah. That was a really good move, strong move, but Knights will retain possession. So one thing, if you notice, if you look at that wall, you see youth lacrosse playing wall ball, and that's something that's really exciting to see the sport growing locally here in Buena Vista and in Lexington, which is hasn't been known for a lacrosse hotbed, but you can see the sport growing, which is very exciting for the university and for the lacrosse community as a whole. So
certainly, I'm sure Coach Lamb likes to see that. He wants it to grow. He's more than just the program, but he certainly does care about the sport as a whole and it being progressing and becoming a bigger thing in our community.
Right.
Nice shot there by Tennyson Schmidt. So the Knights are able to tally a 7th goal, 56 seconds left here in the 4th quarter in the game. CNU still at 19 and good offensive play there. Nice shot by Tennyson Schmidt, even if it is a moral victory, but certainly will help his confidence going forward.
It's nice to see that the Knights are finishing this game. They haven't rolled over. They're still working hard, and they're still, they're still trying to get better, even though this game is out of reach. But they're still working hard, and still progressing to where they can advance to next week and really work for playing these high caliber CAC teams.
So coming up on the 30-second mark left in this game, seeing you with the ball, possibly just running out the clock here, not trying to add insult to injury, but the Knights playing strong defense. That ball's on the ground but picked up. The shot goes wide and will stay in CNU possession. Pass inside, and not much for Boston Priceley to do right there as defense broke down, and that's going to be goal number 20 for CNU, making it 20-7 with 10 seconds remaining here in the game. As well, there appears to be a flag on the field. Not sure what the call is, but pretty insignificant at this point. Only 10 seconds left. The Knights will have the ball and with the man advantage. Tyvier with the ball, about to start this possession. Not sure what is holding them up at this point, but obviously the Knights certainly have a lot to think about going forward. Coach Lamb, what he's going to do to not just fix some of the game planning things, but to help boost their morale after this kind of discouraging game. Nothing really gone their way, but last final possession, 5 seconds left in the game. Good pass inside, just missed there by Seth Garf. And that'll
do it.
That will do it. So we see this game, first opening CAC conference matchup for Southern Virginia and for Christopher Newport. Christopher Newport certainly had the better end of this matchup, dominating the time of possession, dominating faceoffs, and coming away with the 20-7 victory. Ryan, going forward, we talked a little bit. The Knights will play again on Wednesday night. They'll take on non-conference opponent Merchant Marine as an opportunity to get better and really fine-tune some things before they play their next conference game, not until Saturday, the 24th of March, against Marymount here in Buena Vista. What kind of things do you think between now and Wednesday night are Coach Lamb and his staff going to have his team doing to prepare for that game?
Obviously, they have things that they need to work on defense. Their one-on-one matchups to where they're not allowing offensive players to get the top side of the field. Ball watching to where they're not losing track of their guys to being wide open on the backside. Although face-offs haven't been really a problem throughout the whole season, they might want to take a look at some face-offs as they're going against more talented face-off individuals, and then being patient on offense. I think that's the biggest key. If you can't hold on to the ball, you can't score, and then the other team has the ball longer, they're going to score. That's just how it is. Merchant Marine is a good team, or a team that the Knights lost to last year. It was a very high-scoring game, so I think we're going to see we need to see a lot more patience and composure from the Knights, especially the attackmen leaders like Sean Lamb, Seth Garf, and Tennyson Schmidt. But it's exciting to see. Never in Knights history have they been 4-1, so it's exciting to see the program grow and progress as it has. So
certainly, and we see and we mentioned a lot of young guys on this team. They're going to gain experience from this. Going to have to fight through adversity. There's no substitute for that experience. As the Knights look to pick up the pieces and go forward. You know, you and I are both here on campus quite a bit. I'm sure we'll see these guys, and I'm sure that, you know, you played with some of these guys. How do you think they'll respond from this? You think they're going to bounce back and have their morale up still?
It's always frustrating, especially the few hours after you experience a loss like this. You know, especially when you're coming in at you're coming in 4-0. You're expecting your team to do big things, and then to lose 20-7, it's definitely frustrating. So, but I think it'll show the maturity of the team moving forward if they're able to bounce back and, you know, come away with a strong performance against Merchant Marine. So I think that'll show that this game could be a defining moment for the season. They can either, you know, they can fold and say, oh, we're not good enough, or they can work hard and, you know, really get after it and do the things that I believe that they're capable of doing to, you know, to progress as the season goes on.
Well, that will do it for us here up at the Fields. Southern Virginia men's lacrosse, again, your final, Christopher Newport University, 20, Southern Virginia University 7. That will do it for us and our staff until we see you next time, Wednesday night, Merchant Marine. I'm Seth Hansen for Ryan Larson and all our production staff. We thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on Wednesday night.